got two silly questions to start before I start to dig into details. We're going to save this for after the movie comes out, so everything is fair game to talk about. First, though, one of my favorite things about these movies is seeing a character have a premonition and then try to explain it to the people around them. For you all, as in real you, if you had one of these premonitions, which member of this cast would you turn to who you think would actually believe you and be able to help you?
I would.
That's a good
The
question.
issue is that the person that would be able to help you the most would also be the hardest to convince, and I think that might be you.
Me?
I think you.
I was thinking the
buy
opposite.
that.
You thought it would be the easiest.
I'm going to believe it right away and just not be able to help you. But you think the opposite?
I think I think it's gonna be so hard to convince you, but
Yeah, you're
once I
probably
do,
right.
you're gonna be like, everybody, listen, this isn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think
for
you
the
probably
rest,
hate
it would be like the
Yeah,
path
you're
of
probably
least
right.
resistance would just be
Yeah.
like whatever you say.
I was like,
I'm
what are you talking about? See, that the reason I feel the opposite is because my boyfriend and I have he was like, if like you get haunted or something and or spooky stuff starts happening, you got to tell me right away. Like he's like so keen.
good.
You know
That's
what I
always
mean?
good
Like,
for a
keen into
relationship
it.
to talk about.
The ultimate
He's
green
like,
flag.
Yeah.
If you
That's
start
big. That's big
bringing
time,
Ouija
yes.
boards in here, or having visions, like you need to tell me. So
Yeah.
I have a really open door policy.
Open
I do.
communication.
Yes, with any of you. If you have a premonition about everyone's death,
Thank you.
please come to
I'm
me.
keeping it to myself.
I feel like you and Caitlin got the highest honors here.
Yeah,
I
think so,
believe
too.
in this team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably eldest daughter syndrome. You know what I mean? It's probably like that. sort of,
Something
like,
about
take
that
care.
suits the vibe of this
Yeah.
movie. I'm
Yeah.
with that. All right, my other silly question. For each of you, if you had the opportunity to swap roles with anyone in this entire ensemble to play their death scene, what would you pick and why?
Oh my goodness!
I would have loved to have done yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that looked like a lot of fun.
I think I would have loved to have done yours if you died. If that was
if it was a thing.
So you guys didn't like my death.
This is
You get
hypothetical.
spoiled in this
If-
movie.
No,
You're one
I
of
would
few
take you.
who essentially gets
I get it.
two.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
cool.
That's true.
And
You
you
do- you
still
said
make it
earlier-
out alive.
You did say
Both
earlier you only get to die once. Well, Richard Harmon, I think you've died
I
twice.
think this is why I am picking yours, because I think it was the easiest on the actor for the highest payoff
Excuse me.
visually.
It was tough.
Which
in there.
one?
The second
there.
one.
Okay.
The second one I think was you didn't have a full face of prosthetics. Did you have to get anything molded?
I had to have a really hard time claustrophobic wise because I get when I'm in there.
I like small spaces.
I had this amount. I thought I did too until that, and I was like, "Give me the hell
All
out
right.
of here."
Okay. Fine. Yeah.
So it was hard, and the job was.
I
hard.
heard about like your extra set of legs in order to make that happen
So
too.
It was so funny. It was
So
so funny
cool.
on set to see it practical.
I
too.
would have picked Papa's. I would have picked
Oh, Papa's is
just because
simple.
it would have been some interesting
Yeah, it would be fun body.
it would be fun body
Yeah,
acting
it would be,
to sit there.
Saying
And,
papa, I feel like that's such a Bobby thing to say.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well-
what you're gonna learn is we're all pretty close to our characters.
Yeah.
Straight up.
There's
Like,
not a lot of-
we are them.
I will follow up on many of those things. I'll stick with your character specifically first because, like, his vibe was just so not what I expected when I first saw you on screen. What was it like figuring out how he carried himself and just like how soft-spoken he was?
yeah, I don't know. They loved the idea before. Obviously, it was all cut together. When I auditioned, Bobby was just like middle of the road jock. Like
Yeah.
my first audition was just like, hey, Steph, you want a beer and all of that stuff. And then as it slowly kind of kept going and moving, they like wanted to soften him up. They said he wanted Bobby to be sort of like physically larger than everyone, but like mentally a little baby kind of thing. Like
I
in
think the
terms of-
directors said something similar to me too, where they did want to kind of play against the stereotypes. I think that you typically see.
We look like each one of us is playing a horror movie stereotype.
But they were trying to find moments and character things that
Yeah.
that sort of played against that. And
Yeah.
I think that's what sort of contributes to the pretty heartfelt tone, honestly,
Sure.
of the whole movie.
Oh, without a doubt. It
Yeah.
bolsters the family vibe big time. I was hearing a lot about the extensive amount of rehearsals you actually got to do.
Which is rare.
And Rhea was just telling me also about your silent takes. Can you maybe tell me something you discovered in like a silent take or rehearsal anywhere, something that wasn't in the script that now we can see in the finished cut of the film?
Let's show you. Why don't we answer this silently?
Oh, let's not.
This will play great.
Okay.
You've just made my transcriber's day.
And that's
dot,
what it
dot,
was like.
dot.
We weren't allowed to talk to each other in those takes. I mean, you're just trying to like convey things.
I
or
loved
something.
it.
Like,
I wish I could do it on every movie. I wish I could have this kind of rehearsal process on everything.
I wish
because-
we had the time on every single movie that we had on this.
because
one,
really
yeah.
I think this movie, but really every movie is about like relationships, and
Yes.
that's kind of the thing when you show up on set day one and you're just meeting someone who's playing your brothers. You know what I mean? It's hard, and it's actors get good at it. You know, to like try to have that relationship
it's also
drop in right away.
immediately.
But
It kind of takes the pressure off everything else you have to do too, because it's an awkward thing. It's an
Yeah.
awkward thing. You have like a boom dude sitting there and like just kind of watching you, and you're all like just looking at each other's eyes and like fake saying, and some of our scenes are 5 pages
You have to
like
do all the
long.
motions.
You have to do every emotion of so. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of freed me up to have fun on the other stuff because I was like, it can't be as awkward as the silent takes.
The heart and the humor is really great in the film. I'm also just like a big old nerd for horror movie magic. We touched on a little bit of it, but I want to dig into it a bit deeper. For your kill scenes, can you each tell me something on set that made you go, I cannot believe this is what it takes to make it look like that on screen?
It was everything. It was everything. Everything. It was from the prosthetics to
insane.
having a like homemade chest rig on my. I mean, it was a blast. It was a blast, but it was physically super demanding for like 3 days, and I usually don't feel that way. I'm usually game for stuff like that, but I don't know. You find a different respect, but it's also the one thing you really don't want to mess up is like, you know what I mean. You want to give these people something satisfying. So
you know what? I don't think this answers the question, but the first thing I thought of was that when I was in garbage.
the receptacle.
When I was in
I'm
garbage.
trying not to
When I was in garbage.
when I was in all the garbage, they put like wet oatmeal and like actually like kind of disgusting. Like they had like it was clean, but it was like
It was all food I didn't eat. It was all things I was throwing
it was
out.
like
They just threw in her.
pet bedding, like but like clean, everything clean. But it was really gross, and I was like, okay. Here
is
we,
what
you
we're
know, this
doing.
is what we're doing. Wet oatmeal.
Oh boy, wet oatmeal is just making me think of like fake vomiting in movies too. Isn't that always the go-to?
Can't imagine how
Yeah, it's
hard our
pretty
job
gross.
I
is.
don't know, but you know what's funny is I do admire that a lot when I'm watching a movie. I'm like, that was a great fake vomit. That looked so real.
You know what I respect is a great fake sneeze. That's like the hardest thing to fake.
Yeah.
is
You do know
sneeze.
one of my favorite go-to questions.
What is it?
It's would you rather have to fake sneeze or fake vomit in the scene?
Fake
I'm
sneeze.
way better at
Right,
fake
my
Are you
mind.
serious?
I feel like a lot of people in this room have heard me ask that a million times.
Yeah,
too.
fake vomiting is a lot easier than
Yeah.
fake sneeze.
Oh,
I would rather fake sneeze though.
I would like to
you wanna
become
take-
good at fake vomiting. So I feel like I would.
Oh, went away. Son of a bitch.
The second person who's done that, and I think that's the smartest answer to
Really?
that question. Yeah.
And
Brilliant. Do you want to answer before I get cut off? Something about one of your death scene that made
Getting-
you go, can't believe what that looks like.
Getting my shirt sewn to my stunt double's pants to combine into being one person.
I watched that. I
Brilliant.
forgot.
Yeah.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I could talk about your movie all day long. I'm not allowed.
Oh,
you have lots of
thank you.
promoting to do. Congratulations.
Thanks for being
Congratulations.
here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.